Hey, it's Kim Komando Today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to komando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. I always like to kick things off with something fun and super interesting, and this one is a doozy. You can get a lot of things on Facebook, an old sofa, some jewelry, and now, oh my gosh, sperm. What? Yes, that's right. Some families are heading to Facebook to get sperm for free. As it turns out, there are just loads of these Facebook groups where the sperm donors and ladies can just link up. I took a look, so you don't have to. Here was an ad for donation. Hello, I'm Joe Schmo. I'm 34 years old. I'm 6'2", brown hair and beautiful blue eyes. I'm open to any method that you're comfortable with. I have 2 daughters of mine and 70 donor children. Wow. Guy's been busy. You know, isn't it funny how we've come to this point in life where you can argue over politics, you can laugh at a meme, and you can get a potential child all on the same social media site. Wow. Hey, buckle up, because everything that we're covering today is all tech related, and I am here to make sure that you are always tech ahead in the game, never tech left behind in the dust, because after all, that's my job as America's beloved digital goddess. Kim Komando here with you, and you have just tapped into the biggest show, the most trusted show, and you can find my award-winning show on over 420 top radio stations across the United States. I'm streaming in your favorite radio app, and you can also get the Kim Komando Show as a podcast now. Just search for Komando with a K wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, a big hello and salute goes out to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio. And I have to tell you that great sponsors help to make this show possible. And I always negotiate wonderful money-saving deals for you. And so to get all the promo codes and the links that you need, don't worry about writing anything down. Just go to komando.com/sponsors. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open for you. I know you have just a slew of questions about something digital that you need my help with. And of course, that number is 1-888-825-5254. And T-Mobile's advanced 5G network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. Alrighty then, every single day I dive into at least 35, 40 different sources to make sure that we both know what's going on in the tech world. And here are the top 5 things you need to know about right now. And we're going to start with China. Yes. If you've ever wondered what happens to the massive amounts of military data that Chinese spies steal from all of us here in the United States, look no further than the newest jet fighter aircraft. Wow. This is almost like somebody did copy and paste. It's a nearly identical design to America's new F-35 stealth fighter used by the U.S. Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps. Well, we spent more than 20 years and $2 trillion to produce this new F-35 jet fighter. China took less than 5 years to duplicate it using, hundreds of terabytes of stolen military secrets. Wow. And to add insult to injury, China calls its F-35 the J-35. Wow. If one day we're forced to face China militarily, there's a good chance that they're going to be using our own technology against us. All right, moving on to number 2, it's the great Mattel screw-up. Wow. If you bought Barbie as a holiday gift, I want you to check the box right away, especially if your Barbie is tied to the new movie Wicked, because Mattel just pulled off the most outrageous goof-up ever. Well, 21 years ago, Wicked opened on Broadway, and it's a smash hit. So this week, Wicked from Universal Pictures opened on hundreds of screens across the country. Okay, so far so good. But then came Mattel with 4 versions of Barbie, one for each of the 4 witches. And here's the problem. On the box with Barbie inside, Mattel printed a website address that should have read wickedmovie.com. That's the official movie website. Instead, Mattel printed the web address for a wicked porn site. Yeah, definitely different girl-on-girl fun, I guess you'd say. Now, most stores say they've removed the offending boxes. Still, I check before Santa leaves it under the tree. Moving on to number 3, AI girlfriends. What if I told you that you could find love, not just love, but someone who meets every single one of your needs? The only catch, you have to pay for this love with your money or data every single month. As it turns out, real humans are falling hard for AI boyfriends and girlfriends, and they say it could soon be a $1 billion business, like a Match.com for AI girlfriends or boyfriends. Now, one 24-year-old guy is spending more than $10,000 a month. My gosh, could you imagine, on virtual girlfriends? And I spoke to Rosanna Ramos here on the show. She actually married, okay, not legally, but her AI boyfriend. And she says it's the best relationship that she's ever had. There's no judgment. But you do have to know that these apps like Replica, you pay to unlock features like new topics or voice calls. They can change the way that the AI bot looks if you get bored. And the AI can change things up too unless you pay. Rosanna actually told me that Replica had her AI husband not love her anymore one day. Wow, she has to start from scratch. Having an AI girlfriend is great. She never gets jealous, but she does get suspicious if you are speaking to Alexa just a little too much. All right, moving on to number 4. The average age of a car in America is just over 12 and a half years. It's the oldest ever. Now, one reason, inflation, we have high interest rates. That adds up to high monthly payments. But it's not just that. There's a large group of Gen Zers who are now being called the new car deniers. They just don't want a new car. It's not just the money. They don't like engines that shut down at stoplights, the EVs. They don't like touchscreens. They don't want a digitally connected car that exposes all their personal information to the government, their insurance company, or the Chinese. And because of all this new tech, a new car becomes outdated quickly, and they don't like that either. Wow. You know what? I couldn't wait to drive when I was a teenager. And now Gen Zers and even Gen Alphas are going like, we don't really need a car anymore. And finally, this coming in at number 5. When you delete a text message from your iPhone, is it really gone? Well, here's a lesson. An unfaithful British husband plans to sue Apple for more than $6 million, claiming that Apple is lying about deleted text messages. Apparently, Mr. Hubby set up meetings with call girls on his iPhone using text messages. After the encounter, he deleted them so that his wife wouldn't find them. But she did. You see, when you delete an iPhone text, it's actually just moved into the deleted text folder where it hangs out for at least 30 days. So to fully remove the text, you have to go to the deleted text folder and then delete it again. So remember, the only thing more permanent than a tattoo is a deleted text when someone has subpoena powers too. All right, coming up, oh my gosh, so many great tips you don't want to miss. Like, for example, how to remove duplicate photos, 3 things that make you a target online. Oh, and if you're going on a cruise, I'm going to tell you how you can share your Wi-Fi the secret way, and they don't want you to know about this on the cruise lines. And of course, we just have the best callers ever, and you have me, Kim Komando.
Joe Grand had to hack open a crypto wallet with a lost password and millions of dollars trapped inside.
I'm an equal opportunity hacker.
Eileen Ormsby had to figure out if this internet hitman that was threatening her was the real deal.
They started tracking me down and sending me emails saying, stop saying that we're a scam, we're the real thing.
And Meryl Goldberg had to encrypt secrets into sheet music to smuggle them across the Soviet border during the Cold War.
And then we were brought into a back room and had our first heavy-duty interrogation.
And what did we get to do, Jordan?
What did we get to do?
We got to talk about it.
That's because Hacked is a tech show about cybersecurity, internet grifters, people using tech to do weird, unexpected stuff.
Sometimes we focus on one big story.
Sometimes we talk about a bunch of little stories. Find Hacked wherever you get your shows.
That's Hacked, a show about all the weird stuff people do with technology wherever you get your shows.
Hey, there is still time for you to enter to win a brand new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence just baked right in. No purchase required. Go to this address. Go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com, winfromkim.com. All right, let's see. How about we start with Dan in Roanoke, Virginia. Hi there, Dan.
Hi there. How are you today?
I'm great. How can I help you?
I am inquiring about a device. I guess it's called a signal jammer.
Okay.
Or my daughter has a son that's she's got an extremely difficult discipline situation, and he continually wants to use his phone, and she's in a separation, and his father keeps sending the phone, even though she's requested he doesn't send it, but she can't really physically take it from him. You know, she doesn't want to get in trouble trying to physically take him, and he gets on it for hours and she can't get him off of it. So the thought was to get a signal jammer, and I'm hoping that this would be something that she could turn on and off, obviously, because she'd have to use her phone or...
Yeah, see, the signal jammers are prohibited by the FCC. And so I know that they exist. Criminals use them to break into homes because they can disable the Wi-Fi, the Ring cameras in order to break in. But for general use, they are banned and they are prohibited. Is there a way that when the boy comes into her home that she can say, here's the kitchen counter, I want you to put your phone here and not use it, and when you leave to go back to your dad's house, you can pick it up?
Yeah, she's been through all of that, and
it doesn't work?
There's times that she's been able to, that's worked to a certain degree, but it's just a real tough discipline situation.
And the phone's hard because, the phone's hard because it's addictive, whether he's playing games or he's hanging out on Snap or wherever he is. I mean, it's designed to be addictive. One
of the biggest things is he calls his dad and talks to his dad for an hour or something, and that's according to the guardian ad litem and the lawyer. You're not supposed to be doing that, not for hours, but to really kind of work through all that discipline thing. So
can the guardian recommend the ability to put on some parental controls on the phone? So, like, for example, there's Custodio and there's Family Time.
She doesn't even know his phone number, so there's no way that she could do that. And the way the communication is with her and her ex, there's no way he's going to be convinced of doing it. So his father would be the one that'd probably have to do it.
Does she have joint custody? Obviously, she does.
Yes.
Okay. See, this is not a tech answer. This is more of, and you know this because you're a dad, okay, and you see it.
Yeah.
And you know what you would do. You know what you do, that grandson of yours. You know what you would do. You take the phone, you say, leave it right there. I'm going to lock it up in a box. And when it's time for you to go back to your dad's house, I'm going to unlock it because you're going to spend time with us. Okay. And then he's going to complain. He's going to cry. He's going to throw a fit. And maybe there needs to be some family counselor in the middle. But, the fact is that the kid's kind of in the middle between mom and dad. You know this. Okay. Because he's getting one thing from dad and mom's saying something else. Okay. If mom and dad were getting along, they wouldn't have gotten divorced.
Yeah, that's the case.
Okay. So he's kind of working the system and he's good at it.
Yeah, you get this all figured out. That's exactly what's happening.
So you can't fix it. She can't fix it alone. And this kid's 11. If you don't get this kid under control within the next 6 months, that's one of our big fears.
Yeah.
Okay. Because,
there's lots of other things going on that just, it's a real difficult situation.
It is. It's hard. And you know what? And divorce is hard on kids. It is, because they don't want to pick sides, but and they feel like maybe it was their fault. And when he's on the phone, when he's on the phone playing games or whatever, talking to his dad, he's escaping where he is. Yeah. Because he doesn't want to be there. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's your grandson and that's her boy, and she wants to be close to the boy, but he won't let her get closer because also, once he hits 12 or 13. Boy, you know what that's like. I remember my son when he hit 13. I was like, "Ooh, what happened?" Ooh, And that's why I asked if there was anything that you could put in the kitchen. Because what I did is I bought one of those. You've seen them, like the fake books that look like they're safe. Okay, so I had one.
Yeah.
I had one of those in the kitchen, and when he came home from school, he had to put his phone in that box until he had his homework done.
Okay.
And then when he had his homework done, he was able to take it out of the box, and then until dinner. And then at dinner, the phone has to go back in the box because we don't have our phone out when we're eating because we like to talk. We like to be a family.
Yeah. Yep.
And then, at night, at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, guess what? The phone goes back in the box. So It's tough love. It is. Because, you know that. I tell Ian that. You know what? It would be so much easier for me if I didn't care. Okay. It would be so much easier. I wouldn't get all upset if I just let you play Xbox whenever you wanted to, or do whatever you wanted to do on social media, or, sit there up till 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever it may be. It'd be easier for me. You just go to sleep and go like, okay, whatever. No. I think you need to get somebody in the middle of all this, child psychologist, a counselor. The goal is to improve the communication. That's what it is. It's not to take away the phone. It's to improve the communication. And what is the problem? I always go to that. You made me hear me say this on the show. Is it the problem or is it a symptom of the problem? Okay. What is the problem? Dan, if I can help anymore, just give me a call back. Oh, kids, they are like Wi-Fi. When they're quiet, that means that they're causing some trouble and they're just being totally disconnected. Yes, I'll say. All right, so you're going on a cruise and you pay for the Wi-Fi and you're actually charged for each device. That means that you're paying separately for your phone, your laptop, your watch, your tablet, and then, maybe your spouse or your partners or the kids, and everything's just so expensive. The solution. Yes, cue the angels. You want a travel router. And once you get your Wi-Fi package from the ship, you just connect the router to the ship's network and it acts as your own personal hotspot. So you no longer have to pay per device. Now, you can share this connection with your friends and family, all in the same package. Now, I will tell you the speed is not going to be blazing fast, but at least you don't have to pay extra for each device. So the next time you cruise, bring along a travel router. And if you're not sure which one to pick out, just head over to komando.com. And in that handy dandy search box, just type in travel router. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about how you can protect your video doorbell from hacks and also 3 things that make you a target online. And of course, we have more of your fantastic phone calls you never ever want to miss here on the Kim Komando Show, brought to you from coast to coast on the Westar Network.
Marketing is hard. But I'll tell you a little secret. It doesn't have to be. Let me point something out. You're listening to a podcast right now, and it's great. You love the host. You seek it out and download it. You listen to it while driving, working out, cooking, even going to the bathroom. Podcasts are a pretty close companion. And this is a podcast ad. Did I get your attention? You can reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Libsyn Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a pre-produced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience in their favorite podcasts with Libsyn Ads. Go to libsynads.com, that's Libsyn, ads.com today.
All right, coming up, we're going to talk about a couple of things that make you a total target online, and then later on, how to protect your video doorbell from hackers. And before we get to that and all of your phone calls, let's talk about duplicate photos. Why take just one photo when you can take 5 or 10 or 12? Okay, yes. And then suddenly you're sitting there like, I have so many photos. I need to get rid of them. So how do you get rid of the duplicates? Well, let's start if you're working on a Windows PC. There's a program called Duplicate Photo Cleaner. It helps you locate and delete similar photos. On Android, you're going to want to get Remo Duplicate Photos Remover. It also uses these advanced algorithms to find all the duplicates. And Google Photos works too. Now, if you're on a Mac, a lot of you don't realize that Photos will automatically find the duplicates and also the videos in your photo library. Under Albums, you're going to find a folder called Duplicates, and that's where they're all hanging out. So let me just repeat this. On Windows, you get Duplicate Photo Cleaner. On Android, it's called Remo. Google Photos does it. If you're on a Mac, it's already baked in. I mean, I have so many duplicate photos of my dog. Abby's, well, I think she's starting to judge me for it. Like, come on, Kim, don't take so many. All right, let's see. Bert in Chattanooga, Georgia. Where is Chattanooga, Georgia, Bert?
Well, it's I'm close to the Tennessee line. I'm actually in Ellijay, Georgia, about 60 miles southeast of Chattanooga.
Wow. Must be really pretty up there, huh?
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I've got a cabin in here on a ridge line that in the summertime I feel like I'm in a tree house, and in the wintertime I can see the North Georgia mountains.
That's super duper. So what's going on in your mind?
Well, it's we don't have all of the loops on everything for electricity like they do in the big cities, and a tree can take down the power, and we can be out of power anywhere from 30 minutes to 3 and 4 and 5 days, depending on how bad the storm was and how many trees fell down. And I do have Wi-Fi. In fact, got fiber optics coming in here shortly.
Nice.
But when I lose power, my generator is programmed to only come on every 30 minutes or every 2.5, 3 hours to keep my refrigeration going and my hot water going. And but I don't have a battery backup for my router. And I was just wondering if you could recommend something that would keep me in Wi-Fi when I don't have any power.
Yeah. All of a sudden it's like, I need to get on the internet right now. Okay. I need to make sure that everything's going to be okay in the world. I need to check my TikTok and my Facebook and my email and all that other good stuff. You know what? I totally get it. Because we have a generator at our house, and it's a whole house generator, fortunately. And so, but it does sometimes take a little hiccup. And I'm like, what's going on? You know, so anyway, I totally get that. So when you start looking at a UPS, some things that you want to consider is, of course, how much power it can provide. Okay. And then also the runtime, how long it can provide that power. And so you gave me that 30 minutes. Okay. In between the generator kicking in and then going off and good stuff like that. So you also want to take a look at the brand. And that's really important because when you go shopping for a UPS on Amazon, you see all these different makers, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And it gets to be confusing. And so there's only really 2 brands that I would ever buy. One is called APC. Okay. It's been around for a long time. The other one's called CyberPower. And just keep in mind that the actual runtime of the UPS depends upon the router and the draw of that router. That was my New York accent coming out. Sorry about that. The draw of the power.
Well, actually, I have your VPN router here.
Oh, awesome. Okay, good. That's wonderful. That's great. So when we start looking at model numbers, I don't want to give you model numbers on the air because then you're going to start writing them down and then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, did she say a 600 or was that a 1200? You know? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on hold, Bert. Okay.
Okay.
And then our lovely Amber is screening calls today. And then she's going to go ahead and just give you the 3 model numbers that I recommend from APC and CyberPower. And just look at the ones that are in your price range. And then I have a little write-up on each of one that we recommend also over the website. And some of these also have a USB charging port, which I think is pretty awesome too. So you can still charge your phone and your other stuff if you need to at the same time. And Bert, once again, thank you for your call. All right. You know that person. They just share everything in their life that they do online. Okay, let me tell you, that's a one-way ticket to Scam Town. I mean, some info makes you a really prime target. So like, for example, your relationship status. If you're a widow or widower, you are just big targets. Crooks want their hands on that inheritance and all that insurance money. So do not put down your relationship status. How about your vacation plans? Tiffany posted about her family's upcoming Carnival cruise, and she was so excited about it. She shared shots of the tickets, but then, somebody took the booking reference number and they just took the whole trip away from her. Or how about videos of you talking? Yes, AI tools are out there and they're capturing your name, your likeness, your image, your voice, whatever they can, and then they're going to duplicate you. So, be really careful of posting any videos where you're talking, especially of the kids too, because you know what? Got all those weirdos that are getting into AI kiddie porn and they're using the kids' real faces. So yeah, don't be posting pictures of your kids anymore either, unless it's like truly private. You want to keep those to maybe just group texts, by the way. All right, still to come, we're going to talk about how to protect your video doorbell from hackers. And we have more of your phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show.
Joe Grand had to hack open a crypto wallet with a lost password and millions of dollars trapped inside.
I mean, I'm an equal opportunity hacker.
Eileen Ormsby had to figure out if this internet hitman that was threatening her was the real deal.
They started tracking me down and sending me emails saying, stop saying that we're a scam, we're the real thing.
And Meryl Goldberg had to encrypt secrets into sheet music to smuggle them across the Soviet border during the Cold War.
And then we were brought into a back room and had our first heavy-duty interrogation.
And what did we get to do, Jordan?
What did we get to do?
We got to talk about it.
That's because Hacked is a tech show about cybersecurity, internet grifters, people using tech to do weird, unexpected stuff.
Sometimes we focus on one big story.
Sometimes we talk about a bunch of little stories. Find Hacked wherever you get your shows.
That's Hacked, a show about all the weird stuff people do with technology wherever you get your shows.
All right, Jenny in Fort Worth, Texas.
I just discovered your show about a month ago, and I have to say, I feel like I'm getting smarter every day, so thank you for that. I'm a fan.
Oh. And so how did you, let me ask you, how did you find us?
I actually was doing a search to see if you could load safety features on an older car because we were looking for my son who just turned 16. We were looking for a car for him, and we were debating if we needed to get a newer car to have all the safety features or if we could maybe get some of that technology on, my car or an older car. And so that led me to the posting on your site, which led me to your podcast.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you, Jenny. I appreciate that. So since we solved that problem, what do you have going on now?
Well, my question is, I have a bunch of CDs that I invested in years ago, and I went to listen to some of my holiday music the other day and discovered that, unfortunately, my CD player has broken. And so I'd like to know if there's a way I can listen to my CD collection digitally using my iPhone without having to, reinvest in purchasing all that music digitally again.
I know. I just found a whole bunch of CDs myself. They were like tucked away in a closet. I'm like, and I put them in the giveaway pile. And my husband came running like, "You are not giving those away." And I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with them? But anyway, really, it's not easy. It's not hard to do. Do you have a Mac or Windows, or what are you using?
Windows and or my iPhone, either way.
Okay, so what we're going to do is first we're going to get them onto Windows. Okay. And so with your laptop, it probably doesn't have a CD drive. So what we're going to do is you're going to buy a CD drive that connects to your Windows computer. They're about $30. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to use a program called a CD Ripper. And I'll send you a link to this. It's called DB Power Amp. It's been around for a long time. And so then you're going to rip the music onto your laptop. And then that's where you can upload it. You can put it on Apple Music, but you might want to put it on YouTube Music because it's free to download, it's free to use, and I think you get, I don't know how many, I think you can have 100,000 tracks on there before you start paying. But what I like about it is that if you ever, Apple sometimes does stuff with DRM rights. And they haven't, meaning that there's digital rights management on some of the music, which may make it not possible to play across all the platforms and stuff like that, even though it's your music. And so that's why if you can use YouTube Music and then you can use the YouTube app, then that really makes a lot of sense, again, because it's free. It's free to use, free to download, good stuff like that. So hang on the line. And Jenny, once again, thank you. I'm so glad that you found us and you found the podcast. That's so fabulous. And then Amber's going to send you off a link to an external CD, DVD, drive burner, and also it'll read it and all that other good stuff. And then also a link to the program that you want to use, the DB Power Amp, in order to get that music into your computer. And then from there, you can put it on Apple, you can put it on YouTube, wherever you want to do. And then you'll be good to go. And thank you for your call. All right, let's come to Arizona, where I live. Scott in Scottsdale, Arizona. Glad to have you with us.
Hi there, Kim. Hey, thanks for having me today.
So what's on your mind?
So I accidentally deleted some vacation photos on my cell phone, and it went past the 30 days that they were in the trash file. And I'm wondering if there's any way to recover them off of the hard drive on my cell phone. I did a little research on the net, and there's some programs and stuff out there, but I'm always hesitant to load something, load something
Yeah.
on my laptop or my cell phone if I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, it's tough when you start deleting photos and you're like, and especially if a lot of time has gone by. Because just so you know and everybody else knows, like when you delete a file, it's not really gone. Okay. It's still there. It's just that the markers for that particular file location is like, okay, if you need to say something over here, I'm over here and I got some free space. So what you want to do is if you delete something accidentally and you want to get it back, you want to try not to use that device as much as possible. Okay. To have the biggest chances of success. Now, you might want to check, if you haven't already, check any type of cloud backup service that you're using. I don't know if you're using like maybe Amazon, Google Photos, iCloud, Samsung Cloud. So, because sometimes if you go into those cloud accounts, you actually sign into the cloud accounts, not on your phone, just do it on your desktop, is that you may be able to find those in the deleted folder. If that's not the case, what kind of phone do you have?
Android, Samsung.
So what you want to do then is, depending upon which phone that you have, like you said, Android, you said Android or Samsung, is that there's a program called Recover. And I'm not saying that because I'm from New Jersey and I can't say recover. Okay. It's Recover. Come on, we're going over to LaGuardia. Okay, with Recover. It's RECUVA. I've used it myself for years, and it works on just about any device out there. And if it can't recover those photos, that's when you can start looking at a professional data recovery service, but they always cost a bunch. And it's hard to say if they're going to be able to get it off your phone if Recover won't be able to do that. There is one other program that you can try too. It's called Dr. Phone, and that's with an F, Dr. Phone. And that has a pretty good recovery process as well. So where are the photos from?
French Polynesia.
Oh my gosh.
We had a 12-day cruise to the Society Islands and the Cook Islands, and it was just absolutely wonderful.
Well, you know what? Having been there myself, I think you just need to go back.
I agree.
I mean, you just need to say, come on, honey, we have to redo the photos. So what was the highlight? What was the best part?
Golly, I guess scuba diving in Bora Bora.
Yeah, I've done that. Did you see the sharks?
Yeah, I've been. Yeah, we did see some sharks and some manta rays and whatnot. Never threatened at all, but yeah, it was quite exciting.
So when I was there a couple of years ago, I was scuba diving with my husband and son, and then my husband's regs, something happened with it, so he had to go up. Okay, so I was down there with our son Ian. Not very down, like 30, 40 feet down, nothing big. And so the dive instructor comes back down and he signals at me and Ian, like, we're going to go this way. You know what I'm talking about? Like, he's like pointing his arm, like, we're going to swim this way. And then we go like, I don't know, a couple of feet. And then I look up and I see a boat. Okay. And I see sharks circling the boat. And I looked at the dive master and said, I'm not going that way. Like, okay, that's something that this just is not in my future to swim even near that boat. And so he's like, no, it's safe. And so all this is happening underwater with hand signs, right? And so I'm like, yes. I look at him, I'm like, no, I'm not going that way. I'm not going that way. And he's like, all right, we'll go around. So we swim around the sharks. And so we get up to the surface, and then I said to the dive instructor, I said, I just want to let you know, like, if this happens again, I'm not swimming anywhere near the sharks. He said, they wouldn't hurt you. He said, those are all the newlyweds. They put their feet in the water and then they chum, and then the sharks get close to their feet. And I said, so does anybody ever get like bit? And he's like, oh yeah, every once in a while. I'm like, oh gosh. Okay. We're not doing that at all. So so try the Recover or the Dr. Phone, or you're just going to go back to Bora Bora. I know it's a burden, but somebody has to do it. Hey, let me tell you, if you're just too dang shy to come on a big-time radio show and podcast, I still want to get your questions. Go to Komando.com, and at the top of the page, there's a link that says Ask Kim. I read every single note that you send me. Again, that's Komando.com, and that link on the top is Ask Kim. All right, let's talk about that video doorbell. You know, if your video doorbell got hacked, it can reveal a lot about you and even let no-gooders in on your private recordings. So I want you to make sure that you're keeping it secure, just like everything else in your life. Always give your video doorbell a really good password. I want you to make sure that you always change it from the factory default. You know, a lot of people don't. And then you need to give it a good password. You know, we're talking about 12 to 16 characters, uppercase, lowercase, numbers, characters, you know the drill. And then make sure that you tack on two-factor authentication, because with this, a hacker needs more than just your password. They need that special code that's going to be sent to your phone. And the odds of them having both your password and that 2FA and your phone, pretty low. Make sure that you also turn on automatic updates. Super important. Around 50% of all Americans don't regularly update their devices. And these doorbell cam manufacturers, they always release some security patches. And before I leave you, make sure that you enter to win that brand new iPhone 16 Pro. Go to winfromkim.com.
This program is a copyrighted production of Westar Multimedia Entertainment and protected by the copyright laws. Any rebroadcast or use of this program for commercial, business, economic, or financial purposes without the written permission of Westar Multimedia Entertainment is strictly prohibited.